Living unburdened, how to be free inside. Have you ever looked around your life and thought, I should be happy? So why do I feel so heavy? You have the job, you've got people who love you, you've achieved things you once only dreamed of, but still, there's a quiet, aching weight inside. It follows you, into your mornings, your relationships, your successes, like a shadow you can't shake. It's not the kind of burden anyone can see. It's not in your schedule or your bank account. It's something deeper, a tightness in your chest, a mind that won't stop spinning, a heart that feels tired, even when you're standing still. We carry so much, don't we? The pressure to be more, the fear of being left behind, the regret of things we didn't do. And the guilt of the things we did. We carry expectations, from society, from our families, from ourselves. But what if I told you this? The heaviest things we carry aren't in our hands, they're in our minds. And here's what the Buddha taught: it is not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. So the question is no longer just how can I achieve more? It becomes, how can I be free, right here, right now? In this journey, we're not going to tell you to run away from life, we're not going to sell you fantasies of a perfect, peaceful world. Instead, we're going to enter the storm, the mental, emotional, spiritual clutter, and slowly, gently, let go. Because the path of living unburdened doesn't start with changing your circumstances, it starts with seeing them clearly, with sitting still long enough to realize, maybe you don't need to carry all this anymore. This is not about escaping, this is about waking up to the truth that freedom isn't somewhere out there, it's right here, inside you. So if you're ready, let's walk this path together. Let's explore what the Buddha truly meant by inner liberation, not just theory, but practice, not just letting go of what you own, but what owns you. We all want freedom, but the truth is, most of us are not chained by others, we're chained by our own minds, by our craving, our expectations, our ideas of how things should be. Attachment is the silent architect of our suffering. It's not love that hurts us, it's the grasping, it's holding on too tightly, to people, to outcomes, to identities, to control. We want things to go our way, we want people to stay, we want life to unfold according to our script. And when it doesn't, we break, we call it heartbreak, disappointment, injustice, but the Buddha called it dukkha, the inevitable suffering that comes when we cling. Let me tell you a story. There once was a man who stumbled upon a river during a long journey. To cross safely, he built a raft out of branches and rope. It saved him, but once he reached the other side, he kept carrying the raft on his back, because it had once helped him. He struggled through forests, over mountains, still carrying that heavy raft, until one day, someone asked, "Why don't you leave it behind?" He said, "Because it got me across the river." The Buddha used this parable to teach a simple truth: even the good things must be let go of. What helps us today may weigh us down tomorrow. Even love, if clung to, can become suffering. We don't suffer because people leave. We suffer because we told ourselves they should stay. We don't suffer because life changes. We suffer because we believed it wouldn't. An attachment wears many masks. It can look like ambition. It can sound like romance. It can feel like loyalty, but underneath it all is the same desperate whisper: don't take this away from me. And that whisper is what keeps us from peace. So how do we begin to unchain ourselves? We don't have to renounce everything. We don't have to shave our heads or move to a monastery, but we must see clearly that nothing, and no one, truly belongs to us, not even our own thoughts. We are visitors in this world, borrowers of time, of breath, of moments. And the more we clutch, the more life slips through our fingers like sand. But here's the paradox. When we loosen our grip, we gain everything. We begin to taste a freedom that isn't dependent on outcomes. A joy that doesn't vanish when people or plans change. We begin to live, not as owners, but as open-hearted witnesses. So take a breath, feel what you're holding on to, ask yourself gently, is this weight still serving me? If not, maybe it's time to set it down, because the moment you stop clutching, the world opens up, and you begin to feel light. We spend so much of our lives carrying burdens we never chose. Words spoken in anger decades ago, expectations our parents placed on us, the shame of not being good enough. The fear of being left. Again, but here's the uncomfortable truth, not everything you carry is yours to hold. Some of it belongs to your past, some of it belongs to other people's pain, some of it was handed to you so early in life, you mistook it for your own reflection. We wear labels like they were sewn into our skin. I'm not lovable. I'm always the failure. I don't deserve peace. But these are not facts, they're just stories, planted long ago, watered by repetition, and you know what's tragic? We defend these stories, we protect them, repeat them, live by them, as if they are sacred truths. But what if your suffering isn't proof that something is wrong with you? What if it's proof that you've carried too much, for too long? Let me share something personal. There was once a young woman who came to a Zen master, trembling with grief. She said, "My heart is broken. I was betrayed. I can't let go." The master looked at her with deep compassion and asked only one question: did the pain come from what he did? Or from what you keep telling yourself about it? That moment shattered her. She had believed the story of betrayal so deeply, she hadn't noticed she was feeding the wound. Long after the injury ended, you see, we often think letting go means forgetting, but it doesn't. It means stopping the replay. It means ending the war you've been fighting inside yourself, because your pain does not define you, your past does not imprison you, and your worth is not tied to what others failed to see. You are not your trauma, you are not your wounds, you are not your survival story. You are the awareness that sees it all, and chooses now. The Buddha taught that liberation doesn't begin by adding more, it begins by taking off the mask, letting go of the person you thought you needed to be, so the real you can finally breathe. But how? You don't force it, you see it, you sit with it. You breathe with it, and you ask, is this mine? Or did I inherit it? Is this truth? Or just a memory? And slowly, piece by piece, you drop the illusions, like stones from your backpack, one by one, until you realize something beautiful. You were never broken, you were just buried, under fear, under roles, under expectations, but the stillness underneath has always been free. There's a sound we carry, every moment we're awake. It's not from outside, it's from within, the constant hum of thoughts, the never-ending commentary. What if I fail? Did I say the wrong thing? Why don't they love me like I love them? I should have done better. It never stops, even when we're silent on the outside. Inside, it's chaos. This is the mind's noise, and most of us have never learned to live without obeying it. We believe our thoughts are truth, but the Buddha taught, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. But he also warned, do not believe everything you think, because the mind can be both a wise friend, or a ruthless dictator. Let me ask you something, have you ever sat still and noticed the flood, the planning, the regretting, the worrying, the fantasizing? It's like your mind is a noisy roommate, one that never shuts up. But here's the thing, you are not the noise, you are the space the noise moves through. Beneath the overthinking, beneath the anxiety, beneath the rehearsed fears, there's something else, the silence. It's not empty, it's not passive, it's alive, it's aware. And it's always been there, but why can't we feel it? Because we're addicted to the noise. We seek distraction every time silence begins to surface. We open our phones, we turn on the TV, we scroll. Swipe. Tap. Refresh. We fear stillness, because stillness forces us to face ourselves. But stillness is not the enemy, it is the mirror. It shows us what we've avoided, and also what's eternally unshaken within us. The Buddha didn't promise us a life without thoughts. He taught us to relate to thoughts differently, to see thoughts as clouds, drifting, changing, passing. You are the sky, not the storm. When you realize this, your entire relationship with suffering changes. Suddenly, you don't have to chase every fear, you don't have to fix every emotion, you can watch them, like leaves floating down a stream. The secret is awareness without attachment, to say, ah, there's anger. Ah, here comes anxiety. Hello again, old fear. And not follow them. This is what true meditation is, not escaping life, but learning to sit in the middle of it, without drowning. That is where freedom begins, because once you realize your mind is just a tool, you stop being its prisoner, and you start to see, you are not broken, you are distracted, and beneath that distraction, you are already whole. There's a quiet strength the world rarely talks about. It doesn't look impressive, it doesn't fight back, it doesn't win arguments, but it liberates hearts. It's called acceptance. Now, before your mind jumps in, this isn't about giving up. It's not saying, I guess this is all I deserve. I should just tolerate this pain. No, acceptance is not weakness, it is clarity. It's the deep wisdom that whispers, this is what is. And I don't need to fight it to be free. You see, most of our suffering doesn't come from pain itself, it comes from our resistance to it. We say, this shouldn't be happening. Why me? This isn't fair. And with those thoughts, pain multiplies. Like trying to stop a wave with your bare hands, we get dragged under, but when you stop fighting what's already here, you float, you breathe again, you become present. Let me tell you a story. There was a monk named Ajahn Chah. One day, he held up a glass in front of his students and said, "Do you see this glass? I love it. But I already see it as broken." Everyone was confused. He smiled gently and continued, because one day, it will fall. Or be lost. Or shatter. And when that happens, I won't cry. Why? Because I've already accepted its impermanence. While it's here, I enjoy it. When it's gone, I let it go. That's the power of acceptance. It allows you to love fully. Without clinging, to feel grief, without drowning in it, to face change, without breaking apart, because when you stop saying no to life, you begin to truly live it. Acceptance doesn't mean we like everything, it means we allow everything to be seen, so we can respond, not react, so we can breathe, rather than brace. In Buddhist teaching, this is equanimity, a calm abiding presence, even in the storm, not because you're numb, but because you've found something deeper than control. And here's the beautiful paradox, the moment we accept reality as it is, it begins to soften, because no energy is wasted resisting. Acceptance creates space, and space is what heals. So next time sorrow visits you, don't slam the door, open it, say, I see you. You're allowed to be here. But you don't get to run the show. And in that moment, you become bigger than your pain, you become a vessel, not a victim, you become still, and in that stillness, there is peace, because nothing has to be perfect, for this moment to be sacred. There's a place within you, that makes no sound, but holds all the answers. It doesn't argue, it doesn't strive, it doesn't need applause, it simply is. This is stillness. But let me be clear, stillness is not the absence of life, it's the presence of something deeper than life's surface noise. Many people hear the word stillness and think of nothingness, emptiness, boredom. They ask, what's the point of just sitting still? But that's the mind talking, the same mind addicted to movement, to problems, to doing. You see, we've been trained to think that value comes from busyness, that we must always be achieving, be becoming. But the Buddha didn't awaken through striving. He awakened through stillness, by sitting beneath a tree, and turning inward, not away from the world, but toward the truth inside it. True stillness is not an escape, it's a return to the place that's always been there, beneath your roles, your masks, your fears. It's the home you never left, but forgot how to enter. Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you sat in silence? Not to escape, but to arrive. Not to control your thoughts, but to let them pass, like clouds across an open sky. There's a reason monks speak so little, not because they have nothing to say, but because they've learned to listen, to what only silence can teach. In the West, we fill silence with noise. In the East, we learn that silence is the teaching. Stillness is where you meet yourself, not your ego, not your narrative, but your being. It's in the pause between breaths, the space between thoughts, the moment before a word forms, and in that sacred space, you remember, you are not your thoughts, you are not your wounds, you are not your titles. You are the watcher, The witness, the awareness that holds it all, and here's the secret, stillness is not emptiness, stillness is fullness, without clutter, it is wholeness, without noise, it is freedom, without running, it is home. You don't need to earn it, you just need to return to it. Close your eyes, breathe, feel, you are already here, and from this stillness, life begins to look different. You no longer chase what's temporary, you no longer fear what's passing, you no longer forget who you are, you begin to walk slower, speak softer, love deeper, not because you try to, but because you finally can. Stillness doesn't change the world outside, it changes the one looking at it. You've walked through the weight of the world, you've faced the noise inside your mind, you've surrendered the battles you didn't need to fight, and now, you stand on sacred ground, the ground of your own being. This is what it means to live light, not light as in shallow, but light as in free, as in radiant, as in true. Living light means you don't carry what isn't yours, you don't perform for approval, you don't run from the present moment, you live inside it, you breathe with it, you walk in peace, not because life is easy, but because you've made peace your home. You're no longer lost in the outer storm, because the stillness within you has become stronger than the chaos around you. And this is the return to the self that was always whole, always enough, always here. You've let go of control, and found clarity, you've stopped resisting, and discovered resilience, you've entered stillness, and realized, you were never broken. The Buddha didn't promise a life without pain, he promised a path to walk through it, with presence, with compassion, and with awakening. Be a lamp unto yourself, he said. Work out your own salvation with diligence, you are that lamp now, not because you became someone new, but because you remembered who you've always been. And as you move forward, you won't need to escape the world, you'll just walk through it. Lighter, wiser, awake. So breathe in, not to hold it, but to release it, to feel life moving through you, again and again. You don't need to carry the weight anymore, you are free, and you are home. If this message touched something deep inside you, take a moment to reflect, and to share it with someone who might need this light. And if you'd like to keep walking this path of wisdom and presence, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more deep Buddhist teachings, and turn on the bell so you won't miss our next journey inward. This is Zen Buddhism wisdom, where ancient truth meets the heart of modern life. Until next time, stay still, stay kind, and stay awake.